I want my passport. Late October of 2014, I went to my passport appointment on October 22nd to get my passport renewed. After after going to the place, they asked me for my documents and I presented them my documents. But the passport location that I went to was a regional branch instead of the main branch, as most recommended to go to the regional branch to get passport as per usual. But what happened was, to get your passport, they need your information, which I provided them my Aadhaar, along with, I believe, my PAN card, and then my application details. And lastly, they asked me for my uh, 10th certificate, as I did not complete my 10th in India, and my certificates are from America. I presented them my transcript, which at that time I didn't really pay attention to the details, but I had presented them the state transcript that was supplied to me by the state board of the Mississippi, which I gave them. But what arose was they wanted my father's name, because in India, on the 10th certificate or 12 standards, um, they have the child's name, date of birth, um, year of graduation, along with uh, father's name, with stamps and other things, which the government, well, the state, which was not presented in my transcript. So they asked me to go to the main office in Tirupati. Since the father's name was not present on the certificate, and this was something that, since the name wasn't presented on the certificate, they asked me to go to the main branch in Tirupati, as they have, or as they will have much better, or since they handle these kind of cases to begin with, so just go there. So the person who told me that was, I don't really know her name, but I later came to find out that they are from my neighboring village. So, anyways, next month in mid November, I went to Tirupati. They went through the procedures. Um, and when I get to the uh, one of the person who's in charge of passport, when I addressed them why I'm here, what happened, they informed me that since my passport was originally given to me uh, without any proof, it just said there was a stamp on it, and there, after having a conversation with them about what really happened, so from what I can recall, the they said that when you were given your renewal passport in Atlanta, at that time you were still a minor. I was I was age 14, but the Atlanta embassy chose to give you an adult passport, which uh, extends the number of years to 10 instead of the 5 for a minor. So, because of whatever the reason, um, they asked me to get my diploma. And since I didn't have a diploma, I just showed them my transcript, which just regarded, just had my information, my date of birth, the proof of passing, I guess, and then just a transcript with from the state board of Mississippi. At that time, I don't really know what's going on because from the videos that I've watched online, at least this happened in Hyderabad. They just said, just take your information, Aadhaar, just your application will be set. Due to this inconvenience, problems arose simply because they, they cannot verify my certificates, my education. I don't know. So they asked me that come back again. We'll give you your passport as long as you show us your diploma. I made sure I confirmed with them that the picture, I showed them the picture of my diploma, that this is the only thing that will come. So make sure that this is alright with you guys. So after I received the conversation, at that point my diploma was in the US. So I had to get some uh, that has to be transferred into India, which I later got in December. And I booked my appointment to come to Tirupati again in hopes to get my passport. But later on, it seems that in December, there was a switch of a transfer of officers. So, um, this new information was not, I didn't really get it until I went there and I showed them the document, everything, and then finally I had to go see the main passport officer. And they presented me with that, no, you cannot we cannot do this for you. I said, I came in last time, said that this is what I have, this is, I presented my diploma, and they said, as long as you have this, we'll sort you out. But unfortunately, that does not pass on. There's no rollback feature, it seems. So they asked me to get my transcript, no, my diploma attested from the embassy, which there are no embassies in India. How do I do that? God knows. I did not know what to do. So they requested me to go to Vijayawada. I did eventually, but on the same day of coming from Tirupati, on the second time, which was in January, by the evening, a police officer requested my presence in my home, but unfortunately I'm not there since just the afternoon. I was I just came out from the office. So they said that um, you can only this is the inspection only lasts for 3 days, 2 or 3 days, and you have to be present uh, within the duration. And I told them that I cannot be present since I will be headed to Tirumala for the temple, and I'll try my best to make it to back home as soon as I can. So then on that day I was exhausted mentally. I just took a nap. By night I had to go to Tirumala. That's a different story. And the next day I went back home so that I can do the inspection. So after I'm done with that, after a week went by, I didn't hear anything from the main branch in Vijayawada. So I emailed them regarding as to what's happening with my passport. They asked me to get my trans diploma attested. What is the process? So by the end of January, I made an appointment to go there. I went there. The passport office opened from 9:30 to 12. 9:30. Went inside, filled out the form. They had me write down what's happening. So I just wrote what's going on. By 12, around 12 o'clock, I sat down at the police officer, the passport officer regarding my passport. So they gave me a rundown of what's happening. Um, they informed me that in my passport, they normally have documents printed of proof of education, which was already stamped which was on the second page, which shows the ECNR proof. But unfortunately, even though it was stamped, there was no scanned copy of it on their database. And because of that, this whole situation has come to a pause. So, following that, I asked them, since I already have it, they already gave, and in Atlanta, I was already given the CNR proof, which I also stated back in Tirupati on my first visit. I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah, I think I mentioned to them in my first visit to Tirupati that there is the ECNR proof, I believe, on the first page, which they set aside as there is no document on their side to prove it. So they asked me if I have any other certificates to prove it, and then it's like, this is what you asked for, so this is what I've given you. But after revising, perhaps what they were meant to say is, do you have any other certificates aside from the 12th? Because on the main passport requirements, all they wanted was the 10th standard certificate. So simply I've just presented them that and nothing else. So where do I go with this? I'm not really sure. It's been about 5 months since that has happened. This is in May. I've emailed them regarding, hey, do you guys have any information regarding my passport? I didn't get any message back, nor I emailed them. I didn't get an email back. In June, I called the public grievance number stating that, hey, I've contacted via email, also via phone during work hours. They never picked up. It's always saying busy. I called WISAC. They said that they do not do um, for the district of Kurnool. So I was told to contact Vishakhapatnam. Vishakhapatnam, no calls. That was just left there. And then they gave me another officer's number who resides in Delhi. I called him, but there was no response. Or I think the call was busy and there was no response. So I don't really know what to go. I do not really know what to do, or rather, where can I even proceed with this? And that gets me thinking, what are the alternative ways instead of the passport? What are the alternative uh, things to do? Um, but before that, I have to first find out what passport is and what does it do. So here's a general information as to what I've gathered. A passport is pretty much an identity to present to another country to prove who you are, your name, and That's about it. Um, Whenever you travel to a country, they give you a stamp. I'm guessing this perhaps was originally meant as a souvenir because when people go to different countries, they like to get some souvenirs. Some get money, some get a stamp, perhaps a stickers or a magnetic fridge thingy. So, from my understanding, this is what a passport is and what passport does. So, what really are there for an alternative to a passport? One is I could travel within my country, but eventually I will have to get my passport. And I wonder where to go and how to do that. Can I go to a different state and get the passport done? How would that process be? Or perhaps in just an alternative way as to just create a new passport. That would entail you creating a different country. So if you were to create a different country, you need to have you need to be responsible for anything and for any choices that people make, and it could get messy if not properly taken care of. And in this world where um, it's pretty much war, or rather competitiveness. So, what is the alternative to getting a passport? And from my teachings is perhaps just to create a new country, but that would only get me so far as to traveling to other countries. But if I were to ever come back, uh, what is the situation? I do not know. What are these problems? So, as people have side hustles, perhaps my way of creating a side hustle is creating a new country. I mean, a side country instead of the main one. As I do not want to be in, well, as I do not want to uh, um, as it's already incredibly difficult to get a passport. I wonder how it will be just to get my. Uh, so let's just simplify it. What was the country name? Perhaps just go with Pinky Pinky Mikey Paw. Where does it locate? Hmm. It's a country technology company. What does it do? It operates. Well, perhaps. Um, what are the rules? The rules are, I think, very simple. One, you have freedom with liberty. Uh, you cannot do anything criminal. You cannot do. What are the rules? What are the rules? It will have partially a part of American and Indian rules combined. So, um, there's currently a trend of the some people call it the gender classifications, but whatever the case may be, in order for you to play the game of the world, you need to be at a certain age. If you have both parents, you can play the game at the age of 18. If you have raised by only one parent, you can play the game at the age of 25. But you cannot be giving away money. You cannot do charities. You have to maintain a standard of living plus a quality of life that is generational instead of a one-off thing. You have to protect yourself against people who are blackmailing, whether it is morally, physically, mentally, whatever the case may be. Protect yourself, defend against it, fight against it, and fight for you. The roles will be focusing on you and mainly you. If you were to ever get married, any financial burden that was caused by the partners, you you cannot bear the burden of it. You shall have your own responsibilities. You cannot bring others' ideologies. You have to create your own set of practices, your own set of rules to play, and your own set of games. You cannot plagiarize, you cannot copy, you have to maintain a level of your own self. This country is only for certain individuals. It's only passed through generations, only to your family and your descendants. Another the thing is, if anybody bullies you, fight them. If the bully is the government, uh, learn to fight them. Um, Use the laws. The rule books is you cannot kill anybody. You have to be able to defeat them. It's simply a game of elimination. Just don't be the last. Just play the game. Be able to play the game. So there is a case in the US, in other parts, where once you are divorced from your partner, the partner gets half of your belongings, your money, and anything that you have. That is not something you are eligible for. You cannot give away your money nor your funds. Even though you know how it formed, you cannot do that. If you want to be good to yourself. If you want to be kind to yourself. If others are rude or they don't have any emotions, by the time you are at a certain age or mentality, you should have the proper preparations that were given to you. So use them. Have your own respect. You shouldn't exactly degrade your quality of life to maintain or in the having the mentality of just if I just do this, I will be okay. You know, you do not have that choice. You do not. You have to live with this quality of life, the standard of life that was given to you, and you have to maintain that. Second, you were given a quality of life, and you have to keep maintaining that. There may be certain cases where people are mean, people are offensive, they ask you to behave a certain way, act like a certain way. Remember one thing, you have instincts, you have your own generational traits and characteristics that were passed down to you. Use them, learn them, and follow through each step of your way. Sometimes certain rules have to change, but do not think that you need to remain one certain point of way. Religion just combine part of the Hinduism and part of Christianity. And then there are rules of yes, certain countries have to maintain uh, a level of actually that I think was it NATO or what? I don't know. I forgot. But there are certain set of questions, and they are simply yes or no. One is should food be a right? No. Should water be a right? No. Should house be a right? No. Should humans have rights? No. Should animals have rights? No. And then you will have a passport. A passport will simply contain your name, your date of birth, your origins, which planet you're from, and anything and everything just in relations to just who you are. It will not contain other proofs as fathers, mothers, whatever the case may be. On the picture of the passport, you can smile. This is something that you can have. If you want proof of biometrics, well, you have Aadhaar, which is a proof of identity. They have your biometrics, your fingerprints, and facial ID. Second is the United States of America. They have your fingerprints and your photo and face ID. So if you want to create your own, have a picture of it. I guess there's enough proof just from that. If you want a physical passport, it has to be made of diamonds. at least the final form. This on the basic version, a simple ID will do, as the people of this country should have identifications from other countries as proof. Currently, there is only one people here who has proof of identity from India and America. So, proofs you have fun. And you aren't entitled to anything, and neither are you entitled to give anybody anything. And that concludes this. Another thing is, you will take in no refugees. You cannot have anybody joining this, no matter how desperate they are, no matter how adorable they are, cute, doesn't matter. Even if they are saying you will have good luck, you will get good luck, whatever the case may be, do not. The only good luck you will ever need to receive is from God and God alone. And that should be it. And your responsibilities are to maintain your own self, to live. Another thing is, learn from the open source. There's a large amount of information that is open sourced. Safety precautions. Just learn from other people's mistakes. That will be a crucial learning stage. Learning what others have done and learning what to do and do them. If you have an idea, implement it. And finally, live your own life. Be yourself. It is much more important to be yourself than anything else. If you have anything, you should ask. You can travel the world, but you should take care of the safety in considerations. If others are harming you, do the action of retreating. For your life, all the preparations have been made. You don't need to prepare anything, you don't need to be trained, you just need to learn, you need to apply, and you need to do. For most of the things, you already have a plan. What you lack isn't action, but rather the identity of other people's opinions. So the only opinion you need to be concerned with yourself is the opinion of yourself and the opinion of God. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't involve people unless you're learning something. Do not change the rules without knowing them. Only change the rules after you fully learned, well, not fully, but you have a basic understanding of what it does. Sometimes you just need a day or two. So don't make impulse decisions. You are your own person. You have your own preparations that you have been through. Use them, do them, and live by them. Yes, certain conditions you have to meet. Another thing is certain countries fall because of not accepting the US dollar. So the smallest denomination of if um, you will accept the US dollar as a mode of currency for just, for now, just a limit of 2 cents. Anything more might crash the economy. Not like we have any economy to be thinking with. But taxes. The taxes amount change and varies per year. And it is the people's um, being part of this country. Everybody gets a passport. And with passports, um, other countries can issue a visa. And with that visa, you can travel to other countries. So you don't really need a after that, if banks. So for this currency, the denomination is you will create a subdivision from the US dollar, which is for every dollar there is 10,000 coins of your own coins. Those coins are called lefty righty. For the bank, there cannot be any credit cards, any loans um, to the uh, people of the country, but you can hand and earn other currencies and you can loan them out. You can buy bonds, stocks. Mm. So currently there's a person in this country who is part of who is a citizen of India and who is an Indian and a Mississippian, or perhaps could narrow it down to an Andhra Pradeshian, and a Mississippian. Nah, the first one will do. Yep. The person in this country only the first person is only an Indian and Mississippian. And if there is any rules to be added later on, they will be added later on. The country is a technology country. The rules, they take part of Indian rules and then American rules and part of the Canadian rules, and using those you create your own.